Hi friends, continuing my earlier talk on some common errors in compliance of Companies Act. This is further to those instances which I had highlighted. I am highlighting some more very common errors which are ignored in complying the company law and which has a big ramification if they are contested in future. One such instance is in a family owned company where there are only 2 directors or 3 directors, a quorum is always a 2 director. So any agenda has to be passed by majority of the director, and if there are only 2 directors, by both of them as a joint consent, as a full consent. Now in most of the family concern, there are several agendas in which any one of the directors is interested or their family members are interested, or entities in which these directors are interested. Now the Act says very clearly, if such agenda is put to a board meeting where there are only 2 directors or 3 directors, and out of 3 directors or 2 directors, more than one director is interested in the said resolution, said item of agenda, then he has to disassociate in participation of the discussion of that agenda. Now if out of 2 1 is gone, or out of 3 2 have gone, then the remaining quorum is not the quorum to pass the resolution. These things are totally ignored at compliance level and even at the audit level, because auditor simply says, has it been passed by the board meeting? Yes. How it was passed, he does not see the compliances, because he presumes the company law has been taken care by the company secretary of the company, if the company secretary is existing, or the people who are doing the company secretarial compliances. Now if the said resolution could not have been passed by the said board meeting, then what is the answer? The answer under Companies Act is, if an agenda is to be passed and if it cannot be passed by the board meeting, then the shareholders meeting has to be called. The shareholders meeting has a power to ratify such arrangement, even if all shareholders may be interested in this, by passing a special resolution or by passing a process which is allowed under the Companies Act. Now this sounds very simple, that okay, we just passed a resolution, but whether that resolution was within the authority of board or not is completely ignored for the related party transactions. Now related party transactions are very simple and which happens in every company. One is a director giving a loan to the company. Now he is interested. Director taking a loan from the company, he is interested. Director getting a salary from the company, he is interested. So I am talking about the instances which are very common and exist in most of the companies, which gets ignored in the compliances of proper passing of resolution. This is one of the glaring concept which is not in the mind of the secretarial or directors, is considered a non-compliances. Hence they simply write a resolution, they say both the directors passed it by unanimous, that's it. Similarly, if we talk about once the company is formed, first auditor is to be appointed within 30 days. Invariably, the paperwork never happens in 30 days. For getting this paperwork done, company need to write to auditor need to give a consent, and based on these 2 documents, a form is to be uploaded by the auditor and by the company both. What happens when the year ends, when the things come, suddenly it is realized, oh, first auditor needs to be appointed. So first meetings are drafted not in the first 30 days, but maybe first quarter, 6 months, when the need arises, and at that time auditor's compliance is being done. The form is filed belated. If a statistics is to be drawn from the company house MCA, you will find more than 60% forms of appointment of auditors are filed belated or late. That is the reason of belated, not a casual or any loss of confidence or any careless attitude, but because it was not complied in time, hence it is filed late. Similarly, share capital has to come within 60 days. Now, to get the share capital within 60 days after the company is formed, first the bank account is to be opened, PAN number, TAN number is to be applied so that the bank account can be opened. Now, the banking process itself takes time, for 15 days to 30 days to open a bank account. Now, if one of the directors is traveling or anything is there, sometimes they take it very candidly or easily that they will subscribe to the share capital, may not be in 60 days. Hence, non-compliance happens if they do not put their check into the bank account in 60 days towards the subscription of capital. But since there is no ramification or adverse impact as of now of these non-compliances, these gets simply returned as received in time, and the check is lying in hand, the check cannot get deposited into the bank account. Fourth and very important aspect is any rights issue or any further share capital when it comes, it cannot be used by the company unless allotted. It cannot be used by the company unless allotted is very important, because what happens is company needs a fund, immediately funds are put into the company's bank account and they are put to use even before allotment, because nobody is there to have the checks and balances to guide them, or even the directors do not bother about it. So this is in my phase 2 or second part of non-compliance, some points put to your memory and professional compliances calendar to ensure that wherever you are guiding your clients, you do not make mistakes. Thank you.